Trust Your Training.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Trust Your Training podcast. I'm your host, Andre Bennett. I'm also the founder and CEO of Big Guard Training. And I wanted to briefly introduce this episode. We have a very special guest, neighborhood hero, my close friend, Alex Knight. He'll be talking about his high school experiences, college, and the stigma on Division III sports. Before we get things started, I'd like to apologize for my lack of consistency. I'm not one to make excuses, but I've been extremely busy lately, so I hope you guys can understand. But like I said, I'm not one to make excuses. I'm the type to, undercommit and overdeliver, so it really hurts me that I haven't been able to get these episodes out. But with that said, we're going to do a better job of getting these episodes out. We're going to turn this ship around. We're really going to start, pushing more episodes out, get more content out, have more great guests. So with that being said, please sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the episode. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Trust Your Training podcast. It's been a while. I hope you guys miss me like I miss you guys. Today we have a very special guest, Alex Knight. Today he'll be talking about playing at Marist High School, how he got recruited to play at Lake Forest College, and just Division III basketball in its entirety. So, Alex, thank you for joining. Appreciate your time, man.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure, man. So we're going to not waste any time. We're going to hop right into it, man. So, could you briefly speak on your upbringing, different sports you played, and what it was like growing up in the Beverly neighborhood, which I'm also from?
Yeah, I think you can attest to this. Growing up in Beverly was great. I met a lot of my lifelong friends here. Growing up, I played basketball and football and a little bit of soccer at the start. Um, I played basketball for my school, Sutherland. We played Barnabas a lot, which Andre went to. It was great. I was blessed to grow up in a great neighborhood, make great connections, and build a great foundation.
Absolutely, man. And those friends that you make, early on, will become your lifelong friends. Like you said, man, those connections are going to benefit you for a lifetime. So really a great experience growing up in that neighborhood and a very beautiful place to live. So we're going to jump right into high school, man. Obviously, you went to Marist High School. So why did you choose Marist High School over all the other great choices like St. Rita, Mount Carmel, Brother Rice, all these different schools? Why Marist?
Yeah, so funny enough, my final two were actually Mount Carmel and Marist. I think when you're choosing a high school, you should look at, two main things or three main things: education, community, and whatever sport you're playing. If you're playing a sport. I found Mount Carmel and Marist have incredible communities. They both have really good academics that could get me into a good college. And both their sports programs are great. Um, in deciding on the two, um, at the time, Marist had Coach Nolan, and the basketball program was really promising. And they recruited me really strong. Mount Carmel recruited me as well, but I felt really wanted at Marist. Um, I worked out there a lot. The campus was great. Um, I really like Coach Nolan, even with football. I really like Coach Dunn. I developed a great relationship with both of them. Um, so that's what kind of leaned me towards there. Also, my best friend Noah Smith was going there, so that also played a factor. But they're both great schools. Obviously, Mount Carmel, but Marist won that battle out of the two.
Shout out Noah, man. You caught some love, bro. So you got to appreciate that. So this is kind of off
Yeah,
topic, man. I didn't really prepare you for this question, but hopefully you'll be able to answer it.
yeah.
You played basketball and football. So what was it like, juggling two different sports at the same time, man? Because that's not easy. People think that may be easy, but in reality, it's not.
Yeah, I think it's just, separating seasons and how you're training. Like with football, obviously you got to be a little heavier, right? Especially being a running back. And also during the football season, I didn't really think about basketball too much. I think it's very important when you're playing two sports to zone in on the one that you're playing. Not think about the other too much because you're giving your best effort to that sport. Um, so yeah, I think zoning in on that one sport during that season is very important.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what all athletes. If young athletes listening, you have to focus, man. Focus is key to being successful in whatever field you wanna go into. So just having 100% focus on one thing, giving it your all, and when it's time to pivot, it's time to pivot and focus on the next thing. So great answer. Now we're moving back to the basketball side. Obviously playing at Marist, great environment. Just all the schools in general is great environments to play in. So, could you talk about one of your or a couple of your favorite memories playing high school basketball within the area?
I'd say at Marist it was definitely number one will be playing at the United Center. When I figured out at the beginning of the season that we would be playing, I was extremely excited. Playing in the same court as Michael Jordan, Derrick Rose. It was a crazy feeling walking out to the tunnel to warm up. That was a blast. And we beat St. Rita for the Jack Callahan Classic, so that was great. It's always good beating Rita. Um, Also playing on TV, the game of the day, I think it's called, right,
Yeah. Was that seeing like CB? What's that?
Andre?
Can you hear me?
Um,
You good? Okay.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, the game of the week on Comcast. I think it was like a Comcast, like on demand type thing. So yeah, that was pretty dope for sure.
yeah, that was a blast playing that. I say those are probably two of my favorite memories playing for Marist. And then
Absolutely.
also playing for Sutherland, playing against Christ the King in the eighth grade championship. That was one of my favorite memories as well.
Absolutely, man. Those CK games, man. I'll never forget those, bruh. But
Not at
Coach
all.
Seagulls, if you're listening, man, you gotta have Mount Carmel come to the United Center too, man. That'll be a great experience for the kids. I think that'll be really cool. So it'll change their perspective on the game. But so now we're pivoting to college basketball, right? You're coming out of Marist High School. You had a great career, played really well, made a name for yourself. So how did you get recruited to play at Lake Forest College? And were there other, different opportunities that you had to play? And why did you choose Lake Forest College?
Yeah, so I just came down to me emailing coaches, right? I think one of the things that people don't realize, especially when you're a senior and with COVID, you need to reach out yourself to coaches. Coaches aren't always going to come to you, and that's what I did. And looking at Lake Forest, I knew I'd get on the floor. They have an amazing academic. They're great for internships. I knew it would help me set myself up for my future. So that's how I kind of came down to Lake Forest.
Absolutely. And if you guys didn't check out that first episode, I mentioned something that Alex has mentioned. If you're not, unless you're a 5-star, 4-star, high level high school player, these schools aren't necessarily going to come to you, right? You have to be proactive in your recruitment. You have to put in the work. And when I say put in the work, I don't mean doing your drills, lifting your weights. Yes, that's necessary, but you have to, make your film, draft letters, reach out, because that's how you get recruited. So I'm glad you mentioned that as well. I talked about that in the first episode. I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video so you guys can go check that out.
Yeah, even if
So now
coaches
we're
do come to you, I think reaching out to other coaches can create an opportunity you didn't know would be there. So yeah.
right. Absolutely. You never know what could happen. So great point. Now I'd like to ask you, we play Division III basketball, you and I. There's a kind of a stigma on playing D3 from these younger guys, the youth. You don't really look up to D3 as much as they should. Could you briefly speak on or explain just how hard it is, not only to get to the college level, but to excel and even make an all conference team that you made last year?
Yeah, so I think, like you said, people kind of think of D3 as like, not as highly as D1 or even D2. I think when you get to college, you really realize that there's not really, a difference unless you're going to the league. But um,
Right.
even at this level, you work very hard, right? The balance of school and basketball is extremely hard.
Yeah.
Um, the work that you have to do with your body, your diet, the conditioning that you have to do, you still have to put in those exact same hours that people don't really realize. I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I think when people get to college and they're freshmen and they have to go through the grind of you know those winter days, they really understand. But
Yeah.
there's really no difference if we're being
Yeah.
honest. I think the biggest difference between like from a basketball perspective is size and athleticism as you go up into the
Right.
levels. But you find extremely skilled guys at this level as well.
Absolutely, man. The winter days, bro. We're gonna talk about
Oh
that later.
my.
We'll talk about that. So obviously you're going into your junior year, looking to take the next biggest leap in your game. But I wanted to bring it back to your freshman year. Early on. First, getting your feet wet in the college game. So, what are some things you struggled with early on during your freshman year that you later figured out and were able to turn those weaknesses into strengths?
I'd say pace. Going from high school to college, the pace was completely different.
Mm,
It's faster. Guys are bumping you with more strength. Um, so obviously getting in the weight room was extremely important to be able to match those guys and match this level of play. Also, I talked about the school workload too. Freshman year was kind of an adjustment for me. Obviously, I think
right.
Marist prepared me very well, but you could attest this too. College work is kind of different in the way that you have to time manage. So going from freshman year to sophomore year, I definitely had to improve on that too.
Absolutely. And going off your point, college is much different from high school. Yes, I mean you have more space in between classes. So Monday you might have a class, and you may not have that next same class until Wednesday. Whereas in high school you have the same classes every day. The schedule is like it's much nicer, but the schoolwork requires more focus, more attention to detail, and just more preparation. So pivoting to the next question, speaking on your freshman year, you averaged about 5 points per game your freshman year. See, your sophomore year, man, you jumped to 16 points per game, two more assists, and jumped three rebounds as well, and were able to make an all-conference team, which is extremely, extremely impressive. First of all, I'd like to say I'm really proud of you, man. I know what type of work you put in. Me and you used to work out together in the off season, so I've seen it with my own eyes. Just the dedication and sacrifice that requires it. So, what did you do differently during the off season, approaching the season, that prepared you to take that big leap in your game?
Really appreciate that, bro. I talked to you about this, but just working on my body. I think a lot of guys they want to average, 20 games. They want to have those big scoring games, but what they don't realize is they're not even in the shape to do it.
Right.
Coming from my freshman year, I wouldn't say I was in bad shape, but going against, seniors, fifth year seniors, their bodies are different, right? They're wearing me out before I wear them out. Um, and even though I scored more, I didn't want to sacrifice my defense or my rebounding and how I was getting up the floor. So I had to work on my body to get stronger, get faster. Um, and being able to work on my body allowed me to, play longer, play at a higher level for a longer amount of time. And obviously working on my skill set, my shot, honing those things, but becoming a better athlete helped me sustain the level of play that I was at.
Absolutely. And kids, I hope you're listening, man. He's dropping gems. You can't get this nowhere else besides the Trust Your Training podcast. So really take this into consideration. Work on your body, work on your game, but really take your body to the next level because that is going to, allow you to sustain that high level of play. You look at Kevin Durant, guys averaging 30 points a game. Yeah, he's a great scorer, but he can average 30 points a game for the whole season. He's getting money in the first quarter, money in the second quarter, money in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter. There's a reason for that, and it's the conditioning he's in. So really think about that answer and apply that to your lives. So you're going into your junior year, like I said, you made the big leap from freshman year to sophomore year. Now it's time for sophomore year to junior year. What are some key areas you think you could improve on to take your game to the next level, and how will you go about attacking that?
I think just scoring in different ways. Obviously, you have a year where you score a lot more, and coaches realize that, so the scouting report will be different. You'll be more focused on. So just been I've been working on different moves, scoring in different spots, being able to get to different spots. So I'm not as predictable. They don't have to worry about the same things.
Right.
I think the mid-range game is so flexible and so versatile. It's really hard to prepare for. So that's been something that I've been really honing in on.
Absolutely,
I think
man.
it's what
Sounds
makes
good.
the best scores best scores.
Absolutely. Right. Being able to, have counters, you want to work on your strengths, but also work on your weaknesses. So if you're a strong right hand driver, keep working on your right hand. But also you want to add little by little every time you get on the court. So I think that's a great answer, a great way of looking at it. And I'm looking forward to watching you play, man. You
Thanks, man.
spoke on the importance of taking care of your body, strength, conditioning, and diet. I'd like to ask you, what are some specific things kids younger than you, like maybe they're coming up in eighth grade, high school, what are some things that they could do to, prepare for that next level of basketball?
Um, as far as diet goes, when you're in the eighth grade, coming into high school, I don't think you should be as strict. If I had to give one piece of advice, it'd just be to try and get your protein in. Um,
Mm,
I think at that age you should still be, a kid and have fun with the things that you're doing. But getting that protein in, you're still building muscle without, putting too much garbage in your body. So I think your protein intake is very important at that age. As far as conditioning goes, before your season starts, you should be in condition. When your team conditioning starts, that should not be when you think to get in condition, especially if you want to get on the floor or have a big
right.
year. You should show up to team workouts the best in shape on your team. That should be your goal every time.
Absolutely, man. Going off that point, man, speaking from experience, because I'm going into my fourth year of college, man, I like to think of it as those first 2 weeks, man. You want to train for those first 2 weeks of, practices. You want to be in prime shape. You want to be running lines up and down everybody because that's when the lineups are really made. So if you can stand out within those first 2 weeks, diving on loose balls, coming first in all the sprints, you're in shape, everybody else is tired, that'll give you a big advantage of cracking the lineup, getting some playing time, and being able to excel at that level. Um, you know, Being in college is tough, right? But it's also going to be the best parts of our lives. I've heard from so many different people. Being a student athlete is a grind, man. Being able to practice, having to help go to the games, travel, then you got to come back and do a project that's due in the morning. You won't get back till 2 in the morning. Then you got an assignment due at 8. It's tough. So, what does it really mean to be a student athlete? Talk about those late nights in the gyms, early mornings in the weight rooms, late nights in the library. Just speak on that and give some of your experiences and how you handle that.
Yeah, it's funny. The first example that came to mind when I saw that question was we played an away game and we got back at I think 2:30 in the morning, and I had to
Uh-huh.
do a Zoom. meeting with my partner for a project. I had to tell her that I had to do it at 3 in the morning basically. And like I said, it's a grind. Um, but school is very important. So being able to prioritize your academics while still having success on the court is huge. I think it takes a lot of mental toughness, but you realize like you said, college is some of the best times you have in your life. So it's a blessing at the same time, right? Even though it's tough, you have to enjoy even those tough moments.
For sure, right? And when you're in college, man, yes, college is 4 years, but it's setting you up for the next 40 years of your life, right? So being disciplined for those 4 years, it'll help you in the long term. So always see the big picture, man. Always see the big picture. Get off to a good start early on. Establish a good GPA. Turn your homework in on time, and before you know it, you'll have good internship opportunities, and good internship opportunities turn into good job opportunities. So take everything you do seriously. Always see the big picture. Always think long term. For the kids listening. Um, Last question before we get into the rapid fire, man. It's been a great interview. Thanks so much for your time. But this is a podcast for the younger kids, right? They want to get better at basketball. They want to reach their goal. They want to reach levels that you were able to reach. So, with that said, what advice would you give to younger players who aspire to play college basketball one day?
Yeah, I thought about this question a lot. And I just came back to the same answer. Just have fun, man.
Yeah,
Even at this level, even at this age, right? Every time I step on that court, I'm having fun. I enjoy basketball. It's not a chore at all. Yes, it can get tough during the season, but I have so much fun playing this game, man. And as long as you don't lose that enjoyment, that fun for the game, I think you can go as far as you want.
absolutely, man. And going off that point of having fun, man, just always be in the moment, right? My senior year of high school, uh, you got to be in the moment, right? So I knew this was going to be my last year of playing high school basketball. I didn't have any offers to go play in college, so I thought this was going to be it. So when I got another chance to play college basketball, every time I'm in practice, my first practice freshman year, I'm like, be in the moment. Always enjoy the moment because this moment could pass by and the game could be done. So always be in the moment. Always understand what type of blessing you're in. Even like if it's the 40th practice of the season, it's 2 degrees outside, you got to go to practice for 3 hours. Just be in the moment, understand it's a blessing, and then always just have fun, like Alex said. So, wrapping up the podcast, I like to always ask rapid fire questions. So I'm going to give you some questions, man. I want you to give me some quick answers. So let's get right into it, man. Favorite basketball
Yes,
drill
sir.
or favorite skill to work on?
I say transition threes.
Transition threes, okay. Most memorable game you've ever played in?
I'd say this past year against Monmouth, where I had my career high.
That's the game winner? Oh, the moment. Oh, I was there. I was there, I think.
Yeah.
Was I there? Yeah, okay, I was
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Greatest basketball movie?
Um, Hoosiers.
Okay. Go to pregame snack slash meal.
The meal would be pasta. Um, and snack would be a peanut butter sandwich.
See, I don't know how people eat before the games, man. I can't. All right. Last
I
question.
have to, man.
The best basketball shoe ever made.
Kobe's has got to be.
Which ones? Which ones? Which ones? Any specific ones? Or just the whole line.
I'll go six. I think six is the most iconic, but the whole
Okay,
line is what I was
six
saying.
for sure. Well, there you go, guys. That's our interview with Alex Knight. Alex, thank you so much for your time, man. It's been a long time coming, man. We've been scheduled this for like the past 3, 4 weeks, man. So I'm glad we could finally
Man,
get it in, man. Appreciate you.
thanks for having me, brother.
All right, man. Yes, sir. And good luck on your season, bro. Looking forward to seeing you
You too,
play.
man. Yes, sir. You
Yes,
too.
sir. This concludes another edition of the Trust Your Training podcast. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn on post notifications. Kids, if you're listening, I really hope you take Alex's answers into consideration. If you really understand what he's saying, listen to what he's saying, and incorporate it into your life, that just increases the chances of you, reaching your goals of playing college basketball. Once again, thank you so much for listening. More episodes coming soon, more content coming soon. Please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and always, always, always trust your training.